I gave my craft and yarn studio a complete makeover. I attempted to do it without spending any money. Sort of. The truth is, I've been in the studio for about 6 months and it hasn't really gone the way that I planned. Instead of buying more stuff and to fill the space, I thought I would just reorganize it, and honestly, really surprised me. So here's how I did it. Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Bash Harry. This is the Harry Knit, specifically the studio that I was supposed to do a lot of my crafty stuff in, but we've been here for the past, I want to say 6-7 months, and to be honest, I haven't really gotten a lot of my creative juices flowing. I had a lot of plans for the space like a couple of months ago, and right now I don't. I have a lot of ideas, but this space hasn't really been a space for me to really relax and do creative work, because I'm also a knitwear designer and we do craft clubs, and that was a space that I wanted here, but it hasn't been so far. My brain was thinking, instead of moving to a new space or buying a whole new set of furniture, why not redecorate, make it look more like a space that I actually want to be in? So that's what this video is. It's a reorganization craft studio tour on a budget, because I do not want to spend any money, at least any of my money, for this reorganization. The space is nice. We are sharing the space with, I think, 5 other creatives. So one takes over the kitchen, one has the space over there, along with her makeup area, and then we have, I think, a soap bar, shampoo, natural body care maker. So the space is a creative studio, which means that we have our allocated spaces, but it's not well utilized, in my opinion, at least my side. So that's the plan. Hopefully this won't take too long. We shall see. I hope you come along with me. Let me give you a quick tour and then we'll get started. So the main thing I want to do is create separation between my creative space and my admin space. It used to be separated between these 2 tables, but I realized after months it just does not work for me. The gray table is dull, in my opinion, and doesn't really give me a lot of energy to work, whereas the admin space just sucks. It's right in front of a window and strains my eyes a lot, even with the curtains, so I would like to move it. There's also the mirror, which I think is great, but the space itself is very underutilized and could be used for better things. And of course the shelf and this table that's just collecting dust at this point, which I feel like could be used for something else, to be honest. Here is the game plan. This is the current setup of my studio space. As you can see, it's pretty bare bones. So this is what it used to look like. And now I think this will be the new space. I want designated zones for things that I want to do. So for example, I'm gonna replace the mirror and move the papasan chair here, and then also get another rolling cart, this time with a table topper, so that way I can actually bring stuff around, put my iPad on it, maybe my laptop, a drink, and just relax and knit and think about stuff to knit. This area is pretty bare ever since we took out the fridge, and I thought it would be a really nice idea to keep one of the tables and maybe use it there for admin, my laptop, when I need to edit videos, for example, or reply to emails. At least I can do that here. So now I think the biggest difference would be adding a longer table. So this one would be the creative work space / packing area / if I gotta measure stuff, at least I have a big open space to do that. Plus I do miss making YouTube videos and tutorials for patterns, so I really hope that this space could actually work for that. Other little things that I want to add is the Calex that I think I do plan on selling, or I just use the one that I already have, saves us money, and stealing my sister's fan, because I want that. This is the general gist of what I want to do with the space. Obviously, I wasn't able to do more eye level look of the space, but I think it is a semblance of what we're gonna do. The one thing I would say is either I want to move the carpet vertically or horizontally, but I feel like we'll figure that out as the space continues. More than anything else, I just want a space that feels like me, even if I don't know if I'm gonna stay there for a long time. Maybe for another year, maybe more, maybe less, who knows. So even though I said I was not gonna spend any money and try to shop within a very low to very none budget, that didn't mean I couldn't shop my own home. I did some thinking, and there's some stuff in my room and in my house essentially where I could potentially just bring it to the studio and save money, which is great, such as this Papasan chair that I bought back in 2022. I really loved it. I use it in some videos, but now that we have another one for 2 people, a 2-seater, this one isn't used so much and I feel like it would be much better in the studio. Also, ignore this shelf. We plan on selling it, so that's why it looks very empty right now. Tonight, we are going to head off to the studio to bring this Papasan chair, this cork board that I've had in my house for years and yet we do not use it, so why not utilize it in the studio? And this mirror, which is in the kitchen. It's my sister's, but she gave me permission to take it into the studio so long as I bring the larger one to the house, which is fine. You know what? The house needed a big mirror and I think the studio would like to have the smaller mirror, so let's get a move in. The mirror cracked on the road.
I knew that's
Oh my god. Rest in peace, mirror. You would have been really nice in the studio.
Yeah.
That's our bad.
And this is not a sturdy frame.
No, it's not. Look at me using my necklace as a makeshift mic holder. Anyway, it is so bloody hot. It's 2:30 p.m. a few days later. The Papasan is here, the corkboard is here. Now I gotta actually hang it and start figuring it out. I don't know exactly. I don't want to drill anything because I'm pretty sure this is drywall and I don't want anything that's too permanent. But what I do have is I've got these command strips that I bought maybe a few days ago. And I also got this level tool thing and some double-sided mounting tape. I use this for my art gallery, so I'm hoping that it's gonna work out. Will it? I don't know. Yeah, I think I want to sort that out and start reorganizing at least the tables just to get a gauge of whether or not the vision I have for the game plan would actually work. Because in theory, it would look good on a bird's eye view, but maybe it won't if it's actually physical. So I'm trying to figure that out and see how it goes. Oh, it's so hot. It's like 40, 50 degrees Celsius. It's 35, but it feels like 50. Oh, I also got this step stool just because I thought it was pretty good to get one. We have a ladder, but I'm scared to go on it, so I got a step stool instead. Let's get started. There are probably much smarter ways of doing this, so don't do what I do as an example, but right now I'm just testing out where I would like the corkboard to be and using the leveler to make sure it's somewhat even. I did take a pencil to mark it, but honestly, I'm not sure if that even worked very well. Once I had it all sorted, I did have to go back and use the screwdrivers to take out the wire just because it was affecting how it sat on the wall. Another reason why I did not want to use hooks or anything was because, like I said, this is not a permanent place, and also I'm pretty sure this is drywall, so it's not very strong anyway. I had to take out the metal bits, and as I said, this corkboard was very old. I don't know how long we've had it at home, but since it was sitting out there, I was like, why not take it? Once I was done, I did spend some time putting on the strong tape and the command hooks that I found shopping, so it would adhere to the wall a lot better. Once I had all the corners, the middle bits, and the centers ready, I decided to put it on. I don't know if this is the most secure. It's really being held with double-sided tape and prayers at this point, but honestly, I think it turned out pretty well. Okay, I think this little corner has turned out pretty well. Is this secure? I don't know. I genuinely do not know. I'm hoping it is. I double-sided the ever-loving crap out of it. But yeah, I want to put some of my swatches here instead of over there. Just because we already had this board, I like putting up my swatches here, and plus it's not so close to the window where I worry it might fade. Initially, I wanted to put like the shelf here, but with the amount of space in this specific nook, I don't have the space to do so, because on this side where the door is, it's a sliding door, which means it needs to slide, obviously, which is okay if I like push it slightly, but I can't have anything that would be against the wall. Maybe I get another shelf, we'll see. But for now, this is a nice space. I want to move on to the table. So this is the table that I currently use for my admin space. Unfortunately, I tend to use it a lot rather than doing a lot of creative work. This table next to it, in theory, was supposed to be the creative space, but I rarely ever use it for that. It's just an addition to this table, and so I never actually have space to measure, to do things. I tend to do all of the creative stuff at home. I decided that I wanted to separate it. Keep this table, sell off this one, so I want to move it away, partly because I think it would be better over in that section, and partly because it is directly against the window, and as beautiful as the view is, it is south-facing, which means it's way too hot every morning, and especially in the afternoon when I'm working here. My eyes get strained, I get tired. Even with the curtains, it feels really dysfunctional. Plus, I would not want my back behind towards the door. That's just a personal preference. I like working either to the side of the door, but that's not something we can do, so I would rather just move my table to that side. There is some stuff that's right over there. We've got a shelf, another desk that I'm planning on selling. Whatever that may be, we'll figure it out. We'll see how it goes. I've got about 30 minutes before I have to leave for work tonight. It's either this table will be sold or I'll keep it. I'm trying to be as low budget as possible, so we'll see how much I recoup, because buying all the materials for that corkboard definitely took a little chunk out. In theory, I do like this. I don't have a lot of space to move with my chair, but I think that's just something we gotta work with. I like the fact that I have a wall right here. We have a calendar, but I think I might remove it and just replace it with my Scottish pegboard that I got from IKEA years ago, probably 2-3 years, because I think that's a better way to utilize the space, considering I don't like it on the table, to be honest. And plus, I have another pegboard that I barely use. The one concern that I do have is that the table might be a little too long, or the depth is too much. I think it's about 60 centimeters. The length is 120. I think that's perfectly fine for me. I'm gonna have to figure out how my monitor stand is gonna look like. Currently, my monitor is not here because it's being repaired. There's something wrong with the motherboard. I think I do have some time. It's currently 3:41. My battery is dying, but I do want to clean the place up before I go. I don't want to leave it so messy. This is what my desk looks like so far. That desk is still super messy. The main issue that I have with this desk is, even though it's nice, it jiggles like the littlest bit of movement. So I'm thinking if I have enough maybe to invest in a clamp for the monitor, I feel like it would be a lot sturdier, especially because a monitor is very expensive and also can be very fragile, especially if you don't have a very sturdy desk. I am going to take a break. I think the next thing we're going to do is replace this with the pegboard and then maybe get another shelving rack. I do want to sell the other ones. It's right behind me, but you can't see it with the dividers. There's also some stuff that I want to sell in the studio here and in my room. I just gotta clean everything up and hopefully sell it off by next week. I posted on my Instagram asking where's the best place to sell stuff, and they just said Instagram or Facebook Marketplace. I've never tried using Facebook Marketplace, but yeah. Good morning. I am currently, I can't block my camera. I'm currently at a furniture shop, or I'm just about to enter one, because they're having a sale right now for shelves for only $29. Let me repeat that, $29 only for an industrial shelf that I personally use to keep some of my yarn. We have it in storage and I really like it. And instead of using the Calex, I'm thinking it would be a great idea to use those instead. I think they're a lot more, what's the word I'm looking for? You can use it in a lot of different ways that you might not be able to with a Calex. And then I know there's a place called Star Home right across it that sells IKEA furniture. I think it would be nice just to look around and see what other things that they have. Have an easy breezy Monday morning. Well, it's not Monday, it's Wednesday. It was raining really heavily though. I think with Brunei weather, it tends to be very, very hot or very, very wet. There's no in between. Oh, it's so heavy. My God. I want to tell you that I carried this heavy shelf all the way to my studio, but I did not. My husband came over during his lunch break and he worked on the shelf, building it, while I started working on the pegboard. The pegboard itself was not the issue. The issue that I had, or at least the challenge, was to make sure that it actually could fit the depth, so to speak. So I had to work on that, take out the, I think, connectors. In hindsight, I feel like I would prefer if the Scottish was drilled to the wall. For now, since it's low budget and I don't really want to spend too much money, I think putting it in the corner would be fine. That being said, it was definitely a hassle once my husband finished with the shelves, I was still not done with the pegboard, which goes to show you how well each of us do with IKEA furniture or IKEA-like furniture. I'm not very good at it. So we decided to take a lunch break and then come back, reassess everything. I just got back from lunch. I am less hangry now. I want to sort out the pegboard. I think because of the legs of the table, I need to do one more notch down, which I think should be okay. And then I can finally put the shelf in. Surprisingly, it was not as hard to set up compared to the other shelves that we've bought over the past that are very similar. We got this at Urban Life. It was only $29, which was very good for my wallet. I have had shelves of similar sizes that are a lot more expensive, so I'm very happy that they managed to sell this for $29. I'm pretty keen on taking out the calendar. I feel like because there's some nails at the top, I could maybe put an art print there. I do have some at home that I do want to put in the studio to create inspiration. But also because me and my husband, we love to collect art prints, but we currently do not have the space in our room to hang them. So maybe I'll bring some into the studio and maybe figure out a way to put them. It's currently 2:13. I want to be done by 3 so I get to go home, watch some Netflix, and do some knitting. I really want to knit today. The shelf is done. This table is cleared. The other table is very messy though. I am gonna take a break because it's already 3:18. I promised myself I would leave by 3. That has not been the case. I do want to sell this table. It's a bit too small for my liking, and it's also gray. I don't really like having gray in this space. It just ruins my vibe. Not really a gray, black kind of person. But yeah, so all of it is sorted. Let me show you. I will say though, the shelf is looking a little bare, but I think it's better that it stays bare for now so I can always add things in rather than take things out. I do want to bring some stuff from home that I've been keeping at home because I just had no space in the studio. But thankfully now that we do have the shelves, I feel so much better. And I did say the laptop admin area is looking a bit messy because it is. What I do want to do though is probably switch this out to a monitor mount, because I think it's a more efficient use of the space. And I don't really like it. It's not very stable, and I worry every single time I use it if I'm pulling things out, whether my laptop or my monitor will actually fall. In terms of using the SCOTUS like this, I think it's pretty nice. I might hang an art print up here. I don't know yet, but we're gonna take a quick break. I'm going on a trip this weekend, so it'll be fun. But yeah, I guess we'll see what we get on with. Okay, because I can't find a lot of stuff that I would like to get here in Brunei, because as we've established, there's no IKEA, we decided to go on a road trip. We're heading off to Kota Kinabalu to go to the IKEA, also to do like a nice holiday, but specifically we're going so I can actually go to one of the few IKEAs here in Borneo. Would I recommend doing this? Probably not, but like, it's a road trip, it'll be fun. Okay. Just a quick tangent. I brought like 2-3 different projects. I brought 2 projects with me. One sweater so I can work on the sleeves, and then another because I want to work on the collar for the Crazy Daisy cardigan. And this is our beautiful view. Fun fact, this is the longest bridge in Borneo.
Southeast Asia.
Southeast Asia. Wow. I should probably clarify that we are not going to one of the IKEAs here in Borneo. It's actually similar to what we have in Brunei, which is a store that sells IKEA, but it's not technically IKEA. The road trip was about 4.5 hours. It is a pretty long drive, all things considered, which is why I brought enough of my knitting. When we got to the place, it was a lot more variety than what we had here in Brunei, and we managed to purchase some stuff, not only for the studio, but for the room as well in my house. I don't know whether or not it's a long-term investment, but it was something that we really wanted because space is important to us, and making the space as nice as it can be and something that feels like home. Once we were back in Brunei, we immediately started setting up for the new chair. I know this is an IKEA chair. I do not know what it is called. It was much nicer by comparison to my old chair. I got this chair, I think 3 years ago, and the wear and tear is finally showing, hence why I decided to get a new one. Wow. I do think I need a cushion for this. It's been a few weeks since we got the rug cleaned. Now it's here, it's finally clean, and now we can finally add carpet to the studio. I had this rug in my own bedroom for a while now, and a part of me is thinking of bringing it back and just replacing the carpet. I do have a spare carpet in my house that I think would look really nice for this space, but we'll see how it goes. You can see my old chair over there. We'll talk about it later. Probably one of my more underutilized space in the studio is actually this pegboard. It was left out by the other tenants before me, and I just haven't really been using it to its fullest abilities. So I decided that maybe I should keep all my knitting tools, my measuring tapes, and all of that kind of stuff here, so that way I actually have it a lot more accessible now that I am wanting to use the space a lot more for that. It's not perfect. I definitely know that it's going to change over the years, but where it is now, I'm really excited with how it's turning out. So this table has just arrived to the studio, and I think I was supposed to like set it up with my husband, but I am an independent woman, so I can do this myself. Also, if you hear the rain, I'm sorry. It just started raining so heavily. I'm gonna get my husband to do this. It's really tiring. Don't do this in a skirt. Morning. I forgot what I was filming. It's been a very busy week, but as you can tell, we have a lot of stuff at the back of the car. We're bringing some of the stuff that I've had from home into the studio so it can all be kind of merged together into one. What I realized was not really so great was that I had a lot of stuff that I needed at home and a lot of stuff I needed at the studio, so I thought it would just be easier to keep it all in one place. We're on our way. We've got the shelf that I'm also planning on selling, and then some other like knickknacks and leftover yarns that I just kept, and I really shouldn't do that. But yeah, all of that stuff will be going to the studio, and hopefully it will be done sooner than later, because I feel like I've been filming for ages now. I'm trying. We just finished working on the new desk setup. Let me show you really quickly. We kept the 11 desk from IKEA. I don't have the wood anymore because it got moldy and I had to throw it away, but the metal is still good. I keep my little trinkets here. This is Blush, Goose, and Lucky that I got from the crafters market last year. This one I just got from, I think it was the anime market, and this one I got in Malaysia. But look at the monitor. Look how amazing it is. We got the mount, so now I have a lot more space, which I love. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this though, we'll see. I like it in theory. It's a place for me to keep my thing underneath, but I feel like it's a bit too wide. So maybe I'll reduce it, maybe not. We'll just have to see. But yeah, there's still some things I need to clean up in the studio, but it is the weekend. I am tired. I want to rest today and tomorrow. It's been a long week, so I'll see you when I see you. You know, all things considered, I think this space is coming together very well. We've got the table sorted out. We've got the chair. We got my little admin nook. Now it's just making sure everything is in the right space. I brought some stuff from home that I want to keep in the studio now, and I want to hang up some of the art. So I think this morning / this afternoon is what we're going to do to get it all sorted out. I am so happy that we're almost done. It feels like I've been doing this forever, and I know this video is going to be massive to edit, but at least we've got a space, right? Right? One thing that I know would really liven up the space is plants. I am so jealous of people who are plant people because I'm not. I try my very best, and yet everything I touch withers and dies. But we're trying again. I got these plants. This, I will say, is free because I got it from my mother-in-law's garden. She said I could cut some of the stems and leave it. I had these two glass vases from, this is an old, like, I think this is from like oats I got, but I think it's cute. And I think I will put these in water propagation and put them on the shelf to give the studio more life, so to speak. I really want to be a plant mom. There's like this one plant here, but it's not mine. And we'll see, we'll figure it out. I want to be a plant mom. If you have any tips on being one, let me know, because I think that'd be very helpful for me and my lack of green thumb. What's the opposite of a green thumb? I've got a purple thumb. Some of the final things that I want to do in the space is to hang up some wall art. I've picked some of these up over the years, some during my travels, some when I was going to like local art markets in Brunei. I think they're incredible, but I have no space to keep them in my room, at least not yet. So I thought it would be a good idea to keep them in the studio. But I did get these Oohoo Patafix glue pads that are supposed to be removable. I hope they work, but I think this is the last thing I have to do. And then the studio is done, and I can show you how the final space looks like. You might be thinking to yourself, wait, I thought this video was about doing a room makeover without any money. And to that I say, kind of. Mostly I wanted to be pretty low budget, and one way that I decided to kind of add a little bit more money to the fund was through selling my furniture. I had some pieces in the studio and in my bedroom that I realized I didn't need anymore. I went on my Instagram stories and just posted it up saying, hey, I'm selling this secondhand, used, anyone want to buy it? Within, I think, 2-3 days, a lot of people seemed to pick it up. I didn't sell everything on Instagram stories. I did sell it to some of my cousins first. They got first dibs before I sold it to the general public. But overall, that was pretty good. So how much did I spend for this studio makeover in total? So everything that I bought for the studio makeover came to a total of $273.50. For the items I sold, it was $275 in total, which means I made a profit of $2.50, which, to be honest, I feel like is a very happy surprise. That goes to show you that if you don't want something, you can always just sell it. A lot of these furniture pieces I had maybe for 6 to 8 months to a year, maybe even 2 to 5. They were still pretty good, but I just didn't need them anymore, hence why we sold them. But anyway, I think the time has come to show you the final look of the studio. So drum roll, get ready, transition. Oh, hello Architectural Digest. I was waiting for you. Please, come in. But take off your shoes. This is an Asian household. So this is the new studio. I am feeling so happy. For some reason, I feel like the space is a lot brighter, a lot more my style compared to how it was previously. It was a month of work, if not longer, and now I finally got around to film the room tour portion, so let me show you what we've got, starting with the table and the pegboard. I closed the windows so you don't get too much backlight. This was originally not very utilized, but I think I found a good way to use it as a pegboard. It was left by the previous tenants. I basically keep all the yarn that I intend to use, whether in my designs or in my personal projects. I like to keep all the yarns that I'm using here. You've got the ones from Soft String Green, because I am finishing a sweater, I think the first version of it, and I want to make a second one. I have some yarns that really just keep me happy, and of course like my sock blockers and all of that. Over here on my right, we finally got a very long table. This I think is about 200 centimeters and about 60 centimeters in depth. I really enjoy using this table. I feel like this was the most expensive purchase I made at 155 BND. Yeah, I think it's about 155 BND, which I think is about 100 USD. I could be wrong though, but this one I use a lot when I'm having meetings or if I want to do some creative stuff, do some more work that is not on the admin section. I will usually just do it here, and I think it's so much better for the space that I have now. Before I forget, I don't think I've mentioned it at all in this video, but previously we had no curtains for the space, and that was not smart. They did, I think the previous tenants left curtains, but they were too sheer, and this space got so hot so quickly because these are south-facing windows. Back in March, we did buy some curtains together as a studio space. I think we paid about 60 Brunei dollars each. The color is kind of fits with the space. I think it really brings a lot of home to it. It was not very expensive, but it works out. Definitely really enjoy it. Let me show you the little knitting nook now, which is over there. This is my knitting nook area that is kind of going to be where I hopefully will film a lot more videos in this space. I got the papasan chair from my house because me and my husband bought a two-seater papasan, so I thought it would be better to bring this chair to the studio. We also have this table that used to be outside. I think it was for people to pick up their items from the other studio mates, but then we decided to bring this in. And then I got this plant a few days ago, and I'm trying my very best to be a plant mom. So far, it's still alive, so I think that's a good thing. It has only been about 4 days that it's been alive, but so far so good, right? This corkboard here only has one swatch. That was not my intention. I usually make more swatches, but they've been around my house, so I think I'm going to kind of search for them and start pinning them up on this wall. I think I'm also gonna start printing out more stuff just to fill it in and create more creativity and all of that. But so far, I really like the space. It's a nice quiet nook area. And if I ever wanted to just sit down and hang out, watch something, we do have a TV in this space, which is great. And now for my favorite part, it's the shelf. This shelf was probably the best purchase at $29. It's about 90 centimeters, I believe. And there's an empty space here because I think I want to buy a printer at the end of the month instead of just using the printer at my house, and we're constantly running out of ink. This is where I would mostly put all my nicks and my necks. We've got my knitting books, some admin work, some yarn that I still want to keep out. I haven't yet put them in storage yet. And we also have some of my knitting needles and other tools here. I do have my knitting sticks. I remember featuring it in my previous knitting vlog. Just for ease of reference for myself, I like to keep some yarn with these tongue depressors. So that way I know how to reference how much yarn I have, how does it feel, how does it look. So that way I can kind of really assess how much yarn I have, what it looks like, the color, so on and so forth. I really like this setup, but my favorite part about it are the plants, which you cannot see. I moved my camera. These plants are just all propagated in water. I'm hoping they survive. I misted them this morning. I am not a plant person, so please give me some tips on how to make the plants look nicer. It's a bit bare right now, but it's not something that I'm particularly obsessed with filling in right now. I know a shelf like this, it will constantly be growing, constantly be changing up. I kind of like having the plants up there. It really draws the eye up to the plants. And also, one reason why I decided to keep the shelf here is that I still have room to maneuver in between the table, which I thought was a great thing. And it's not securely against the wall or the window, so to speak. That is about it. You can see Manny here. She used to be in my home studio. Then my sister took over that studio, and then I brought her up to my room, and then she just kept waffling about. I'm not gonna lie, there have been times where I'm like awake in the middle of the night going to pee, and I'll see a strange figure, and then I get freaked out, and then I realize it's just Manny. So I thought it would be better just to bring her here instead. But behind this shelf is my little work desk. So let me show you the final piece. This is probably the space where I spend the most time in, so I wanted it to be as usable, as functional, and as cute as possible. We do have a fan here because it does get hot in the studio even with the air condition. This fan was free. I got it from my sister. Thanks, Shasha. And I also have my art pieces up here. It's probably going to be temporary, but I do like how it's looking like. We also have the Scottice here. It's attached to the table, so it's not the most secure. I think in the future, if I do have the time, I would like to maybe buy a second Scottice and just attach it up to the wall, so I have like 2 Scottices and keep a lot more of my work stuff here. Another thing that I have that's slightly different from this table is the monitor mount. I decided to take out the 11 table riser that was from IKEA. One, because it wasn't very functional anymore because there was no drawer. And 2, it kept moving. I'm a very clumsy person, so whenever I hit the table with my knee or I just kind of grazed my knuckle very slightly whenever I'm doing work, it jiggled and it jiggled the monitor, and I was really scared about that. So my brother-in-law had a spare mount for his gaming computer. He so kindly decided to give it to me. And so I think over a weekend, my husband and I attached it to the mount. It was really great. And now I have more space for my trinkets, and I have a lot more table space for me to work up with. I also have here the books that I use. You also have my Owala, stay hydrated, and some of my crochet hooks, my books that I use sometimes when I'm working. And we also have this organizer right here at the bottom. It just has a lot of stuff that sometimes I need when I'm doing work. Nothing too intense. I will say this divider was originally from one of the makeup artists that also shares the space with us. Her studio space is over there, but I'm trying not to show it too much in this video. This one is from her, but we used it to cover the kitchen area of the studio because our tenant, our co-tenant, has not moved in yet. She is a perfumer, so she's taking up that space to make her perfumes. So instead, we use the divider, kind of like a faux wall, so to speak, so at least my back is in front of a wall instead of like open to a kitchen, you know what I mean? Apparently it's good for feng shui. I saw it on TikTok by Mr. Cliff Tan, which is partially why I decided to put my table here instead of facing the hot sun all the time. I guess that's it for the room tour. I think that's about it from me. As I said, I don't cover all of the studio. I do share it with other small business owners, but it's been so fun to kind of reassess, reorganize my studio space and make it something that feels more like me. I'm really lucky that I also get to share the space with 3 incredible business women, and that we get to have our own little corner and work. Even if we're in very, very different businesses, we still get to come and work together in this beautiful space. I hope to make more videos in this space instead of my house. It encourages me to really get started, get working, and also with the plants, it forces me to come over daily and check on them, which I think is a good thing. But that's about it from me. Thank you so much for watching this makeover video. Maybe there'll be more like this. I tend to do one every 6 months, but nevertheless, I do hope you enjoy. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, do all of that usual stuff. My name is Bash Harry. This is the Harry Knit. I'll see you later. Okay, bye.